Without any further ado, here's the man of the 3 hours we broadcast, Miss Framus. Put your hands together, everybody. Thank you very much. I like to start my own clap. That's kind of what I do, as opposed to the clap. But it's wow, what a pleasure to have the man, the myth, my friend, the legend. Put your hands together for Mr. Edgar Breau, everybody. Welcome to Shake It Up Radio, Edgar. What a great pleasure it is to have you here.
Yeah, glad to be here.
We're glad to be anywhere, actually. You know, you and I together,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
You want to start us off with one, Edgar, and then we'll get into it.
Sure.
What's this one called?
It's called Brandy Wine.
Brandy Wine. Edgar Breau, everybody. The legend.
Such a lovely name. For a woman as pretty as you, yeah. Tangled tawny hair, green eyes of flare, my Cherokee share. Memory fills copper kettle, whiskey still, and the shimmering fields of Georgia cotton. In the car with a cigarette dangling, half forgotten, out of mine, brandy wine. Brandy Jeanette lives on Buttercup Lane. In a mobile home with her friend John, keeps her out of the teeming rain. Runs with her two dogs there. She's the devil may care, my sugary hillbilly lover on a dare. With the shotguns and bowie knives on the road, Daddy taught her till he left Mama. Now she rides all her sadness away, just like Shelley, in a Shelley kind of way. Shanae goes fishing on Shenango Lake. She's a woman proud and strong, living wild as a siren song, running deep as the day is long. She cooks well as she cleans, swaying in her tight blue jeans, with her eyes shut tight as a drum she dreams, and her wisdom arcane Camelot. Mistress of the tarot, writer of the mystery plot. Brandy wine, believe me, half of mine, only say, only mine, brandy wine. Brandy wine. Shanae, when I made love to you, in a budget motel in Niagara Falls, hon, did we get married too? You wore your mama's wedding gown. We read our vows, we was half past bound and besotted. Still your moans and your cries crowd my mind, and your passion unabated. Still the heat of your sweet scented body, flesh and quiver, all a shiver. Brandy wine, brandy wine. Brandy wine.
Edgar Breau, everybody.
Thank you. Brandy wine.
Beautiful, my friend. Beautiful.
She's living somewhere off the grid in Alabama. Right. And it's all true, my song. And,
If you're going to be off the grid, what better place to be than Alabama?
dedicated to her.
Nice. Nice. You're this period of your career, you're what are you doing, Edgar? You're everywhere all at once, man. You got shows, you got recording projects, you're fired up, man. Fill us in. What are you
Well, we've
what are
been
you
to
doing
Montreal like 3 times.
in the past year?
And
Year or
we
so,
went
yeah.
and played with the band, Simply Saucers, the outfit that I play with now and again. And we had Danny Lage. There's a Montreal band, Danny Lage. You know him, Michelle? You know Danny? Yeah, Danny Lage and the Looks. They're a Montreal band, and I stayed with Danny because we're friends.
How did you get connected with him? Just through
I
mutual
don't know,
friends or
you know,
mutual admiration
You know,
society? Or
he sends me a message, and then, hey, Edgar, if you ever need a place when you play in Montreal, we'll put you up.
just right out of the blue.
Yeah, and Danny's from, he's Franco-Ontarian, like from, I think, Kirkland Lake. And Jeanette, his wife, is, I think, Quebecois. And so he introduced me to all the great, Montreal diners. And then he played on stage with Simply Saucer. Mike Treblecock was sick.
Right.
Mike couldn't make it, and we were booked to play in Montreal. So I asked Danny, and he said, yeah, okay, I think I can do a couple of songs. But every night he was on the phone to me, Edgar, I think I've got another one. I think I got another one. And then I said, just come on stage, forget it, don't worry about it. Let's
Sit
play.
in.
So
Yeah.
he sat in with us, and
Nice.
and then I recorded with him in Montreal. He has a studio, and he's a great producer, and he's got some really great gear and that. And
Now basically you got a new record in the cooker, right?
I got my record's been mastered by Jim Diamond, who's a Detroit producer. He's kind of a legend.
Yeah.
Jim
You were
Diamond.
saying he worked with the White Stripes and worked with some of the legendary Detroit bands, or
Detroit bands, and he recorded Simply Saucer. I don't know, 2008 or something. We kept in touch, so he's a good friend now. And so he did my last record. He's doing this, and it's all done.
So the new one's done. It's in the cooker. It's,
I just
it's
need the
production, it's ready to
artwork.
go. Yeah.
I got to get the artwork done and that, and so. And the band played the Horseshoe. We sold out the Horseshoe.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
and that was.
You brought Martin Farrell with you.
Yeah, we had Martin Farrell and the
That's
boy
great.
opening up. So that was a fun night.
I bet.
So yeah.
The legendary floorboards of the Horseshoe Tavern for sure.
Yeah, it had been a while since I played the Horseshoe, so that was really cool. And Daryl Gould and I, we played Wolf Island, the Wolf Island Hotel. You're familiar with it? It's
Is it like what is it? It's a kind of a music.
it's
live
like a
music mecca, and,
big old building, and Chris Brown, who played in the Bourbon Tabernacle Choir,
Oh, okay.
and he went on tour with Tragically Hip, playing keys with them, and that. And so he's like
And he runs the hotel.
He runs the hotel. He's like a master musician, and the whole hotel is wired for sound, like every the bedrooms and Probably the bathrooms. It's just like every.
Chuck Berry tried that. He got in a lot of trouble for that.
So Chris, and it's just like state of the art back line, and so everything's
So you
wonderful.
just go in and plug and play
accommodations.
for.
So yeah, so Daryl and I twice we went, and then we're going back. So
Nice.
and,
Daryl
in
Gould,
Ottawa.
another Hamilton miscreant,
Daryl is,
legendary songwriter, performer,
he
one of my
is
favorite people.
He is a great songwriter.
For sure.
Great songwriter.
Yeah. He's a real maven as far as.
Well, he is.
He's everywhere, man. He knows everybody.
Yeah, he's always.
And he's kind of under the radar while he does it too. Which is
He
cool.
always has something up his sleeve.
Yeah.
He'll message me, "Wow, we got to get together and talk about something." It's a gig.
He's always sending messages too, like you got to talk to this guy about this, or you got to talk to this guy about that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Get him as
Get in
manager.
on this.
Maybe.
Open for this guy, or yeah, exactly. Yeah. Maybe we just hired a manager right now. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you've been super energized and prolific. You've been playing live a lot. You've been putting new music together. Have you got a date that you're aiming to release the new record?
January 18th in Toronto.
Nice.
We got a release show there. And
Where's
then,
that?
at Loco. I think it's called Loco.
Okay.
And then in Hamilton, early February.
Nice. Nice. You want to hit us with another tune, Edgar? Are these tunes off the new record?
Yeah, the first song is on the record. And this is too. If you've been to Cobourg, Ontario, this is called the Cobourg Miner's Daughter.
Edgar Breau,
How's that?
Cobourg Miner's Daughter.
In Southern Ontario, I arrived half dead. Don't you know I was hungry, broken down low. Met a gal in a Cobourg diner. Her daddy was a Cobourg miner. Daughter was a working hard, waiting on the table serving coffee. And more coffee. Memory not being what it was, I'd say way back 72. I was fresh out of jail. I was A1, covering my trail, living in a backwoods shack on the edge of a southern Ontario town. I still dream, oh Lord, of the Cobourg Miner's Daughter. I still feel something, but it don't really matter. Like a horse thirsting in the desert for water, I still dream. I can only dream. Make a long story short, my name came up in a police report. I aroused suspicion when I tore up a bar one night. It all started with the other guy. He made a sleazy pass at my honey pie. Came out of the restroom and there they was, poofing up a storm. But I still dream, oh Lord, of the Cobourg Miner's Daughter. I still feel something, what it is that don't really matter. Like a horse thirsting in the desert for water, I still dream. I can only dream. Well, I believe in a fair fight, but things got ugly past that night. And where I'm from, you grab the weapon closest to hand. I broke my bottle of Breau in his face. Blood splattering all over the place. I tailed it out of town and I never returned. But I still dream, oh Lord, of the Coburg miner's daughter. I still feel something. What it is, it don't really matter. Like a horse thirsting in the desert water, I still dream. I can only dream. Like a horse thirsting in the desert water, I still dream. I can only dream. I still dream.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Coburg Miner's Daughter. One of my faves. Nothing like getting hit in the face with a bottle of Breau. Extra strong beer.
I had to do Breau, man.
I remember when that beer came out, it decimated my family for a while.
I was looking for a beer for the song.
Oh,
And I
Breau's
thought, like,
perfect.
which beer is he going to smash in the guy's face?
Breau,
It's
yes.
Breau.
Breau sounds painful.
Just sounds.
As painful as it was to drink.
Yeah.
Totally,
Yeah.
So,
I saw my new album. My new album's called Acadian Drifter. Acadian Drifter.
Acadian
Because,
Drifter, yeah.
Acadian Drifter because like my family on my father's side is French Acadian from New Brunswick, and my father drifted up here, and I done my fair of drifting in my life,
Yeah.
drifting away from my heritage and clashing with my father when I was
that
younger.
rebellion kind of thing
Yeah.
that you do, that we do,
But I've kind of,
circling back now.
I'm circling back
Yeah.
and appreciating my the history of my family, which is pretty amazing, because we were there like before the 1755 dispersal of the Acadians. We were one of the original, really like French families in
Wow.
in Acadia. So
So you're digging into some deep bones there, man.
I'm taking French lessons at College at Boreal. I try to recover a lot of that, and so like just drifting out of this and with that, and maybe with some women drifting in, drifting out.
So you're
that kind of whole drifter thing. That kind of suits me.
you're reversing back from. I just watched Mad River actually the other day.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
kind of going the other way, back up the river now,
Back up
to kind of pick up your lineage.
Yeah. My father was very proud, and it wasn't until later in life that he really he did the family genealogy and understood the history of his people.
I think we all kind of do that as we mature. Like we all start thinking about our origin stories, and our kind of our genealogical backgrounds and foundations. I find myself thinking that way sometimes too.
I find myself like more and more like my father as well. Like it was an instinctive thing, the way my father would react to things.
Sure.
My father was like a vet, he was a war hero, really. Like he got shot in the Italian campaign, got shot through the wrist, and he used to bring his war medals out every now and again. He polished them all up, and he was always like the soldier at home with me too. Like, and I was different. I was kind of more with the art, and the art stuff, and so he didn't maybe quite understand me, but I understand him more now. I think.
Right. With your own kind of wisdom and context now, you look back through that, right?
Yeah. He was a jail guard, prison jail guard, and Frankie Venom's father worked with my father at the Barton Street Jail.
Wow.
Yeah. They were guards. Pardon me.
You guys, incarcerated Brandon's father.
I know my friends went there. And he would give them the mop, and he'd say, "Clean it up," and they'd go, "Mr. Breau, why are you treating me like this?" And he'd go, "But I don't want you coming back." So
It was thoughtful.
It was a wild.
It
He was thoughtful. It was a wild bunch, like EastEnders.
No doubt.
And
No doubt.
so lots of stories in that from those days.
No doubt. Yeah. Did he keep him close to the vest though, or did he pass the stories around?
My dad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He had a powwow once at my house with all like these heavy dudes that were causing a lot of shit. And like as a
Rounders and those kind of dudes,
like Parkdale boys.
Oh yeah,
those kind of guys. And I remember I was young and I was peeking like through the living room door, and it was like, okay, guys, we're gonna have a powwow. We're gonna stop this, like in concerns with. Anyways, like loose lips sink ships. I'm not gonna say anything more, but.
But he was thinking about the community. He was being a community-oriented person.
Yeah, I was the kind of guy. Like,
yeah.
There are people there. Anyways, I'm not going to get into the stories because I got it.
Well, you kind of already did, Edgar, but we can change. We change channels right now. And how about circling back to, as you alluded to, your band Simply Saucer? Way early. Like I know a lot of bands now, Hamilton bands, we can kind of fall back on the lineage of, Teenage Head, you guys, the Shakers, Forgotten Rebels, exactly. But for you guys at the time, did you have in mind like Hamilton successful people that had come before you? Were you kind of leaning on Crowbar, those guys, to see that? We can do it.
No.
So you were all on your own back then.
I mean,
there was no example.
I have a ton of respect for those guys.
Sure.
But that
wasn't you weren't surfing in those waters back then.
Against everything, including music.
Yeah. So you were just
it was experimental.
Totally out on your own with no kind of.
We were improvising at first. That's all we did was improvise. We didn't have songs. Then I discovered that I could write songs.
Right.
And I started writing songs, and then all that improvisation ended up going into the music, into the songs. So when we had an instrumental break, it was almost like jazz. You'd go for it.
Sure.
Every solo, you'd go for it. It didn't have to be the same or anything. You just went for it every time.
And then you would get back into verses and choruses and lyrics and stuff. And then when there was the break again, everybody would just kind of go avant-garde kind of stuff.
Yeah, we were listening to free jazz, Sun Ra, Ornette Coleman.
Lou Reed, Velvet Underground, big influences at the time.
Yeah, which at the time it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't popular.
No,
at that time it wasn't popular music. It was more. It was a cult. And the band was built as a cult band.
Yes.
As a cult band. All our influences were cult artists, and that's what we wanted to be, a cult band, which financially isn't the greatest of ideas. But
and how were like as far as when you played live gigs, did you play dances, that kind of thing back then? How well were you received?
Well, the early days we played high schools usually, and we played a high school prom. Our manager, he didn't tell the truth about us. We ended up playing this prom, and they after the first set, they weren't very happy. The principal was there.
They shut you down?
No. We went back and we converted the audience.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we won them over.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, they had this conga line going. And,
oh wow.
Yeah.
To your original to the saucer music.
The original more experimental band. And Club 707, they threw us out.
Physically tossed you out.
Well, the drummer, they physically tossed him, and so we had good and bad reaction. Then we played the early Outrage at the Masonic Temple in Toronto, which was one of the first really, I guess,
kind of the nascent, kind of punkish kind of explosion.
Teenage Head we played, and
right.
Johnny Lufson, who I think has passed away.
Yeah,
I think. And then there was another one. Rock Shock was the first, and then Outrage. And that was with the Baltos and the Battered Wives and the Concourse.
Those are all Toronto bands, other than Teenage Head.
Yeah, Teenage Head played too. Yeah.
And were you guys like kindred spirits with Teenage Head back then? Were you kind of rooting for each other, and or were you just kind of were you rivals at the time, or
different kind of scene? Really, ours was a little bit different. We had a lot of like hillbilly boys.
Really.
Like our entourage, like from Mount Hope, they were like more farmer boys and really wild boys that ended up hanging out with us and tearing our rehearsal house on Ferguson and all.
Oh yeah, I remember
really
that place.
Tore apart.
Yeah.
And it got really wild in there. And,
I was a little kid in that neighborhood. My grandparents lived in that neighborhood.
Oh,
I remember passing by that house. It was the
the-
last house on the tracks, right?
Yeah.
Was that-
Yeah. It became self-destructive. And,
It was a madhouse.
it was a madhouse and a party house 24/7. But you get tired of that eventually. Like if you're always partying, you're never partying. Because you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Party's supposed to be
exactly.
special.
That's what I call the 90s. For myself, anyway. Always partying, never partying.
Yeah.
Well, you want to hit us with another tune, Edgar?
Yeah, maybe I'll get my Epiphone out.
Okay, here comes the big guns, man. Can you unplug, Gary?
Yes.
Okay. Shake It Up Radio.
Don't forget, next week we have Ira Walker.
Ira Walker, yes.
And I want to sing the other
Madison Galloway.
Madison Galloway.
And JRCS, or are we confirmed on those guys?
Jay Spirit.
The Jerks. Are we confirmed with the Jerks?
We've got to talk to Alex, probably, I'm sure.
Alex.
I don't know where Alex is.
No,
Wherever he may be.
He's around.
He's around. No, I think he left.
Yeah.
Are you ready to go, Edgar?
Don't hurry me, brother.
We would never do that. There's no hurrying here at Shake It Up Radio. Time stops.
And so this is a story, song about a trip to Nelson, BC for a wedding. And also my nephew lives out there in BC. So it's also a song about a mountain called Mount Idaho. So we did the wedding. I did this thing, I don't know, the cable. I only did it because everyone else did it.
Like
didn't
riding
want it.
along the cable?
Yeah, super high. We were between rivers and all this. It was terrifying. I couldn't say it. I didn't want to say it.
No, you're from the East End, man. You can't be
tell
telling
them
people
that.
that you're scared of anything.
But, like everybody was, like, some people were going upside down. Crazy. This is called Mount Idaho.
Mount Idaho. Edgar Breau, everybody.
Alpine villages, pristine lakes, hiking and biking trails, for goodness sake. Fall on mineral springs, sloping meadows, those kind of things. Gold Rush Boomtown, Silver Mine Ghost Town, sat in abandoned town. My world is still spinning around. Idaho Mountain, Idaho Peak, majestic Mount Idaho. Gonna sweep this city boy off of his feet. Mount Idaho. Mount Idaho. We climbed high, Kalina and I looked down from the lookout, heard the echoing shout out, have you heard the news, man? Rocky Mountain Daily News from nowhere. Backcountry adventure in Cockney Glacial Park. Should I bring your hiking boots? The trails are very well marked. We stayed in Nelson for Christie's wedding on the lake. I kicked around the downtown bookstores. Kalina baked the cake. Gold Rush Boomtown, Silver Mine Ghost Town, sad and abandoned town. My world is still spinning around. Idaho Mountain, Idaho Peak, majestic Mount Idaho. Gonna sweep this city boy off of his feet. Mount Idaho. Mount Idaho. We climbed high, Kalina and I looked down from the lookout, heard the echoing shout out, have you heard the newsman? The Rocky Mountain Daily News from nowhere. News from nowhere.
Edgar Breau, everybody. Beautiful, Edgar. Thanks, man. I always wondered the story that of the record that you guys did, Cyborgs Revisited,
Yeah.
that you and Saucer did, is kind of a it's kind of a mythological story as far as albums go. You guys did the record,
Right.
and then
Right.
you kind of just like lived it out and played it out and kind of did your thing, and you kind of moved on to a steel worker's life at the time, right? And you would kind of, and then all of a sudden, or not all of a sudden, how did the record come back into consciousness and into everybody's life? Kind of, it's got quite a story to it.
Yeah. Well, in 1979, we crashed and burned, and really we did.
Yeah.
Like, almost vanished without a trace. And I ended up. I had 5 children. One of them is here, my daughter. I don't know where she's gone. She was sitting there, Monica, with my granddaughter. So we had 5, and I was like completely like out of the loop until one day.
Like, were you burned out of the music business by then? Crashed and burned? You were
Yeah,
out, all the way
I
out.
was out. Yeah, but I was playing at home.
Okay, but
And
just for your own.
Well, to learn to play, I had been listening to John Fahey and English bands like Pentangle and Fairport Convention. I was learning to play fingerstyle guitar.
But you weren't
That was my
aspiring
direction.
to get back into the business, or
eventually.
just for yourself?
Well, eventually
Okay.
I did. And Bruce Moe had heard me play at a club, and he was curious about me. And I told him about this record we had made with the Lanois brothers, mainly with Bob at Master Sound Studio in their mom's basement, because we were one of the
So
earliest.
this is pre-Grant Avenue Studio.
Oh yeah, pre-Grand Avenue.
Yeah.
And we had recorded this whacked out record.
Yeah.
And our manager, like he had taken it, so I had lost the tapes. And he went to Montreal and then eventually to Arabia. He worked for Northern Telecom. And
So he took the masters to the record? Yeah.
so one day I got back into contact with him, and he met me in a park. You know, it was almost like a spy thing,
Oh yeah.
turning this stuff over. And
He gave you back the
he
masters.
gave me back the masters, and then Bob Lanois got back involved, and Bruce Mowat put it out on his mono mold sound recordings, and from the moment it came out, it had like over the top like reviews.
And what year was that he reissued it? Was it in the 80s or 90s?
Well, it would have been 89, 88.
So it was at least 10 years after the initial recording, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then Sonic Onion put out the CD, and like we had like CBC Television were interviewing us, and the New York Times, the London Times, the London Sunday Times.
So it just blew up.
It blew up, yeah.
Re-release.
The Village Voice.
Nice.
There were thousands of reviews, and people were just freaking out, like,
Yeah.
because it was kind of like, where did this music come from?
You guys were ahead of your time, obviously.
Yeah,
right?
there was there had been a lot of garage bands that had been popularized, and maybe people thought they had found it all.
Mm-hmm.
So, and because all our cult influences eventually had become very prominent in the music world.
Right.
Lou Reed had become famous, and all that. And anyways, so that's the story of the record. And,
Wow.
So it just keeps rolling. And,
Yeah.
we'll get invited.
It's a Canadian story, yeah, for sure.
Fly us to Austin City, or
Nice.
Portland, or like, man, we ended up playing in New York and Memphis, Detroit, Chicago. Played all the Nashville, and
Wow.
we played all over in New Orleans. And
That had to feel good, man.
so it's good. Like it just kind of. Okay. So yeah, it just comes and goes, and then somebody will contact me and want to do an interview, or we get booked somewhere. So
That's cool, man.
yeah, so it's
Great story.
It's
Well, you
fun.
want to play one to play us out, Edgar?
Yeah, I'll play another one.
Edgar Breau, everybody. We can find you on the socials if we need to find you. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
Martha's back. She's back all right. She's blooming like a northeast wind on a bitter cold night. She says, hey man, I need a place to lay my head. Can I stay with you? Can I sleep with your iron bed? Martha's back. The door slams again. Coming round, God knows what, since I don't know when. Martha's back. Door slams again. She's been treating me like I'm some kind of friend. Martha's back. Foolish man, they cling to you. Where'd you pick him up at the local county zoo? You mesmerize with your soft touch. You read their lives in the tarot cards you clutch. Martha's back. The door slams again. She's been coming around for God knows what, since I don't know when. Martha's back. The door slams again. Treating me like I'm some kind of friend. Drinks my wine, makes sweet love, it's all pretend. Come on, baby, I know you're leaving. We gotta stop this self-deceiving till you come back. Once you was just a flower child. Leonard Cohen used to drive you all the while. You read all of Kurt Vonnegut's books, not to mention the drugs and the cons and the crooks. Martha's back. The door slams again. She's been coming round for God knows what, since I don't know when. Martha's back, the door slams again. Treating me like I'm some kind of friend. Come on, mother. Come on in, baby. Hey, where you been? It's so long. Come on, baby. She's been treating me like I'm some kind of friend. And Martha's just a victim of the night. Come out of the shadows into the morning light. There's a war raging inside of you. Come on, baby, there's just a lot gonna do. Martha's back, door slams again. She's been coming around, God knows what, since I don't know when. Martha's back, door slams again. She's been treating me like I'm some kind of friend. Come on, Martha, door slams again.
Good throw, everybody. Thanks, Edgar. Thanks for coming in, man. What a pleasure. Don't go away. Shake It Up Radio at CanuckTune.ca. We'll be right back with Dan Walsh. The fun continues at the Cat and Fiddle, corner of John Street South and Augusta in Hamilton. Be right back.